Hello everyone, I'm Captain Logan, and it's time for another news video. Today I want to talk about Batman Arkham Knight. That's right, we are already getting another Batman Arkham game, and apparently this is going to be the last one. This news is so interesting. So just today, I guess yesterday now, I'm recording this late at night. Today we found out that Rocksteady has, as I suspected, been working on their final Arkham game this whole time while Origins was being developed by another studio. Rocksteady's been working on this Arkham game, and of course, that was all but confirmed by Kevin Conroy quite a while back when he leaked that he was working on a voiceover for an Arkham game, and this was before Origins was even announced, I think, and everybody thought he was going to be in Origins, and then he wasn't, and it turned out that was going to be a prequel. And now we have finally found out what that project is, and that they have in fact been working on it all this time. I gotta tell you, I did not expect this year. This is exciting. This is really fascinating. I am liking about everything I'm hearing about this so far. So let's go ahead and get into the details that we know. This will be an informative video. I will give you a little bit of speculation on my part, and I'll talk a little bit about the premiere trailer that we got today, and what I think about some of the things that are in the trailer. So first off, it's coming out in October, and it looks like Rocksteady was going to wait even quite a while before they told us that this was even happening. I think it's kind of neat how long they wanted to wait before they finally revealed that even the title of it was, and that it was coming out this year. It sounds like, from what I read on IGN and other places, that Rocksteady was not going to release this information this early or even a trailer, but that some press stuff got released, and so then they had to. And so I don't know how long they were going to wait, but we know now, and I don't know how the press stuff got released or what all that was about, but in any event, we know now, and it's going to be called Batman Arkham Knight, which at first glance, and I'm sure other people felt this way too, I looked at that and I went, oh, okay, so it's going to be probably a big city game like Origins was, probably give us more of the city, and probably have nothing at all to do with Arkham. And in fact, we would all have been wrong, because it turns out that Arkham Knight is not just the title of the game, but a brand new character. Apparently a heroic character. This is a really neat idea, potentially. I mean, we don't know anything about this character, what they're going to be like yet. He or she, probably a he, but who knows? A new character called Arkham Knight, and I think it's neat. I think this is a pretty gutsy move on Rocksteady's part to invent a new character and put this character in their lore. This is something that they haven't really done, and I think that's a really neat idea. I think also the name makes sense, potentially. It kind of takes the, boy, I wonder what they're going to do with this. You know, like there's so many interesting potential thematic connotations. I mean, you have, on one end, Arkham, which represents all of the insanity in Gotham and most of Batman's villains. And on the other side, you have Knight, which is what everybody calls Batman. He's the Dark Knight. So you have what is essentially a name that has a lot of dark connotations mixed with part of a name that has more heroic connotations. You're mixing those together to create a new character. It doesn't even matter if this game at this point is going to go back to Arkham Asylum and have anything to do with that place, because now we have a title that makes sense, because it has to do with a character. And it also makes a lot of sense that given how really important Arkham has been in this whole franchise, in the stories that have been told, it makes a lot of sense that a character might name him or herself after Arkham. And so I'm really intrigued by that. Really intrigued by that. That was the last thing I expected. When I saw the trailer, it looked to me like everything everybody wanted in Arkham City that they didn't get. The few things people were disappointed with in an otherwise really outstanding game, the video game. So we've got Scarecrow back again. and Scarecrow apparently is going to be the main villain, or at least that's sure what the trailer is leading us to believe, and or at the very least, it sounds like Scarecrow. I'm pretty sure it's Scarecrow. Talking about bringing Gotham's worst fears to light and stuff. I think it's the Scarecrow. Sure seems like it. And the Scarecrow bits were my favorite part of Arkham Asylum, and I sort of missed them a bit in Arkham City. So I am nothing short of stoked to see that character return, and I hope some of those side-scrolling stealth dynamics come back in, because that was a really fun part of Arkham Asylum. Really unpredictable, really kind of scary actually, and I really enjoyed that part. I think it would be neat if there was a little bit more of a survival horror sort of bent to this game, because you had a little bit of that, or you had a lot of that in Arkham Asylum, and I think it would be kind of fun to wrap those two games into one and maybe have the expansive thing, but then with the city. But then it might be fun to have some places where we get a little bit closer knit, a little bit more intimate, a little tighter, and a little scary because of close quarters. And I hope that there's some more of that. Also, Two-Face quite a bit in the trailer, and given that it's the first trailer and that they're not giving too much away right out the gate, I would be very surprised if Two-Face wasn't a really major part of this game, because the Arkham City was sold pretty hard on Two-Face after Two-Face didn't appear on Arkham Asylum, and then he had a very minor role. So I would expect him to be really instrumental in the plotting of this game. And apparently the Batmobile is finally going to be drivable, and I'm assuming that it's not like the way the Batplane was used in Origins, that you'll actually get to drive it around. And that's all but confirmed in Rocksteady's press release, where they talked about how the streets for Arkham City, which certainly they've used the same blueprints because it's in the same continuity, but they've taken Arkham City and they've widened the streets so that you can drive the Batmobile through, which makes sense. There's a lot of Batmobile in that trailer. They didn't show any gameplay for what you do with the Batmobile, but they showed a ton of the Batmobile in the trailer, and it's a neat design. It looks like kind of a cross between kind of your regular classic Batmobile. I'm not going to point to a particular one. I don't know if it looks more 89 or what exactly, but kind of a more classic Batmobile mixed with the Tumbler, which makes sense given a lot of the other gadgets and things that we've seen in this universe, and given that there's quite a bit of Nolan influence, especially in the soundtrack. And I talked about that a lot when I did my rewind on Arkham City, but you listen to the soundtrack in this trailer, and there's still quite a bit of Nolan stuff. So that's still pretty influential, which is totally fine with me, because it's been a part of this aesthetic, and it's been, I think, working quite well. What else? So drivable Batmobile. That's kind of a neat idea. It'll be interesting to see how that fits in with the game. How big is Arkham? How big is Gotham City going to be, I wonder? We had a good chunk of it in Origins. Of course, we had just Arkham City in Arkham City, and then in Origins we had that plus Space-wise time again. That again. And I wonder if we're finally going to have all of Gotham City, just everything they can put in the city. They design the entire city and put the whole thing in the game. It'll be really interesting to see. Given how long they've been working on it, 3 years. And given that they went on record to say that the game was too big, they had too many things they wanted to do with it as a one-player experience, that they still have not added multiplayer. I wonder just how large and how expansive the thing is going to be. That is going to be a letdown for a lot of people. I know one of the things that I said when I did my rewind on Arkham City was that it would have been neat to have had some, not even multiplayer so much as just being able to play as different characters. In fact, with these games, I don't even personally, this is just me, feel the need to have multiplayer, to have co-op, several people playing at the same time. Might be fun. I don't personally feel like I need that for this franchise, but it might have been neat to finally get one where you get to pick, or as I said in my rewind, or have story bits where Batman just can't be there and you need somebody else, where you get to play sometimes as Batman, and then sometimes as say Nightwing or Robin, or as I said before, I would love to see the Huntress, and some characters like that. So anyway, it's maybe a little bit of a letdown that it's all going to be Batman, but these games are so story-driven that if the story is once again all about this character and they have a really good story to tell, who am I to tell them how they ought to be doing their gameplay? Because after all, I'm a story guy and I care more about that. So or at least I care more about that if the game is so story-driven. And that's what I've loved about this franchise is these are Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, especially some of the best Batman stories I think I've ever seen. And I just love this universe, and I'm so excited to get to play in it again. And I know we just got Origins last year. Some people might feel a bit burnt out with the Batman franchise in video games with Origins, and I still think it's a very interesting move that they did that game at all, especially right then, considering that now they have a game out a year later, but I'm not burnt out. I love these games, and I'm very excited about this. Origins was kind of, for me, it was a fun gameplay experience. I thought the story was adequate, but didn't live up to the first two, and I really wasn't expecting anything from it. I've reviewed this already, but I in a podcast anyway, and so I enjoyed that experience, but I knew that it was just kind of an appetizer before the main course. That it was just the opening act to a main event. And I think it's really interesting that time-wise it's really playing that way. It's the opening act to a main event. And I wonder if Batman Burnout is going to affect their sales of this game, but I really don't think it is. I think this is the game people have been really waiting for after Arkham City. Just Rocksteady's name is going to sell copies. And I also think that this title is going to sell video game systems, because this is only being released, as far as I'm reading so far, obviously this just came out today, so I suppose it's possible this could change, but I really don't think it's going to, given what I've been reading, that it's only going to be available for Xbox One, PS4, and for PC, and I guess that means I'm going to be playing it on the PC, because I don't have either of those systems, and I have not yet felt the need to get one. We bought a Wii U last year because there are certain old school franchises that I like to continue to follow from Nintendo, and a couple other things that I wanted that system for. But I don't personally, this is just me personally, play enough current video games to really warrant buying the latest and greatest system. Very often I kind of wait for a while before I get one, so it was unusual for me to buy the Wii U even as early as I did. And so this on its own, if I can play it on PC, and given that I think I have a good enough computer to run it, I don't think is going to be enough to get me to buy a PS4 and an Xbox One, but I do think that it's likely to sell those systems for other folks that haven't gotten around to it yet. I'm reading a lot of complaining on the internet where people are saying, why couldn't it have been put out on 360 or PS3? A lot of people haven't moved over yet. Those systems are still fairly new, and I think it's fair given what the Rocksteady press release said. It sounded like they needed these new engines in order to do some of the things that they're doing. I don't know enough about the hardware to really know how true that is, and how much better as far as processing and graphics capabilities and all that stuff that the PS4 and the Xbox One are over the Wii U. But it doesn't surprise me at all if they are, because the Wii was quite a bit behind the 360 and the PS3, and everybody complained about that, and they kept putting systems out kind of prematurely, and the same thing happened with the Wii U, so I'm not surprised by that at all. At first, I found myself thinking, why couldn't this at least have come out on the Wii U, even over PS3 and 360, just because that's at least a current system for Nintendo, and given that Arkham City runs just fine on it, and it sounds like it needs even a better processing system than what the Wii U can do. So that's all right. I guess I'll play it on the PC. I've never done that before with one of these, but of course I have to play this game, and I'm really excited about it. The new character thing is really exciting for me. What else do I have? Should I talk about with this? I'm going to say a couple obvious things. I'm going to assume that the Joker will not be in the game at all. Obviously, spoiler alert, but but he got killed off in Arkham City, and I'm going to assume that they're not going to be gimmicky enough to find a way to bring him back to life. I certainly hope not. I think that getting to see the aftermath of that and getting to see what Batman is like post the Joker is somewhat uncharted territory, and I think that it warrants a game all on its own. Arkham Asylum and Arkham City both had their own stories and their own things to say about Batman. They complement each other. Arkham City continues the story where Arkham Asylum left off, but as far as a character arc for Batman, they both have very different things to say. Not Again, they complement each other, but they both have a different story to tell, and I'm very excited to see how this lineage thing plays in. The entire trailer, or at least most of the entire trailer, is the final will and testament of Thomas Wayne, and most of it is Thomas Wayne telling his son what he's hoping he will do with the money that he's left him. And I thought it was a really nice touch, showing the Batmobile and the suit and all of that as he was saying he hoped that Bruce would not just become a playboy philanthropist, and that he would do good things with his money, and that he would give back to the city that gave so much to us, and that he hoped that he would not that he wouldn't use it to buy fast cars and to buy expensive clothes and especially to live a dangerous lifestyle. And I think this game is probably going to really further what the first two games were doing in commenting on whether or not Batman is more causes more damage than he does good. And Batman, at the end of the day, in both of those games, always decides that, always chooses not to change. He always decides that, regardless of what he might have created, it isn't his fault, and ultimately, Gotham needs him, and he's doing the right thing. And it looks like he's likely to really question that in this, and it makes me wonder if, at the end of the day, in this game, he'll make the same choices, and he'll still decide not to change. I wonder what happens, and I wonder how his father's words will ultimately affect him, and how much of a father-son story this is going to be. A lot of people are talking about that. It's going to be a father-son story. In just watching the trailer, I found myself wondering if this was the first time he had heard these words, if maybe the Will and Testament was somehow lost or something, or at least the audio version, and that he was just now hearing it. We see him reacting to it, and I don't know, all of that is incredibly interesting, and bringing the Scarecrow in makes a lot of sense in that idea of dealing with his fears of not living up to his father, and that and his fear of perhaps being the whole reason that the city is so incredibly messed up in the first place. Anyway, I'm very excited about this. I'm really excited to get it this early, and it feels like Christmas. I didn't think we were going to get it this early. So the last thing I should probably talk about is it's really fascinating to me that they're saying that this is going to be the last one. Dan's News and I speculated that the whole reason Origins came out was so that this could be another one of those mega franchises where they found out a way to put one out every year or every couple of years, and they'd have like a B-team studio working on it, while the A-team studio, or working on kind of secondary games, while the A-list studio is working on the primary games. And now Rocksteady's saying that this is the end of a saga, and they're not going to make any more. And that's the thing that I find most fascinating. I didn't expect that. I sure didn't expect them to say that right away. We're done. This is it. This was a trilogy, and then Origins is kind of more of an extra thing. And so I guess if they had planned on the whole time it was going to come out this year, and they wanted to also do a prequel, it sounds now a little bit more like that wasn't a gimmicky thing so much as they just wanted to round out their story just a little bit. I don't know how ultimately extremely successful they were with that. Like I said, the story's okay. I just don't think that it's quite up to par with the other two. So I'm just, that's really baffling news to me. I thought that this was going to go on forever. I didn't think that this would be the last time that we had a game set in the Arkham universe. And it makes me wonder if the Arkham universe might go on in some other way, because it's its own expansive thing all by its lonesome, you know? It borrows so much from various comic continuities and all kinds of other places, cherry picks really interesting things, but it's got its own tone, it's got its own flavor. And I want to see more comics. You know, I really enjoyed a lot of the Arkham Unhinged comic, and I'd like to see another tie-in comic for this, especially if they get, you know, the right writers and artists on it, because that was really fantastic. And finally, I guess I should say that I wonder who's writing this, because as far as I know, it's still the case that, well, Paul Dini went on record to say that they didn't approach him for a third one, so somebody else is writing this. I wonder who that is. I haven't found anything on who's actually writing it, and nothing on any voices other than the big ones that you already expect. Same Batman. Still Kevin Conroy. Still Tara Strong doing Harley Quinn. We've still got Wally Winger doing the Riddler. So a few of those, the major voices that you kind of expect are back. But that's all I know about who's working on it on the production side. So it's gonna be interesting to see who's writing it, or at least to see what the script is right, because I know that they said with Origins that they wanted to start going in-house. That's just kind of Rocksteady's business model now, and so I guess appropriately I shouldn't say who's it going to be, because it's probably nobody I've heard of. I guess the appropriate question is, will it be up to spec with the first two games? And that's all I've got to say on it so far. I'm very jazzed, and I can't wait to get to play it in October. Anyway, let me know what you think about this. What do you think of the trailer? What do you think of the villains that we know about so far? The direction they're going? Do you think the Batmobile's a cool idea? What do you think about all this? Leave me a comment. Let me know. I am looking forward to reading those, and I'll see you again tomorrow with lots more videos. In the meantime, I'm Captain Logan, and see you again very soon.